Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today, with our daily maintenance flow, we're going to be working on taking your body through 3 planes of motion, and it's going to be a nice gentle flow. You'll need 2 long sticks. We're going to start off with some forward bending and back bending. So the way we're going to set up, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. We're going to get our feet about hip width apart. I'm going to place the base of the sticks just outside my pinky toes. And I'm going to reach my hands up nice and high. So we're going to start off with a hinge. So I'm going to push my hips back. I'm actually going to keep my legs nice and straight. And I'm going to reach the sticks forward as I push my hips back. We're going to create some nice length through the posterior chain. And I'm going to lightly drive the sticks into the ground. From there, we're going to stand up, keep your legs straight, and we're going to get into our human sail. So you're going to roll your wrists in slightly, and we're going to go into a back bend. So before we get into this back bend, make sure you squeeze the glutes and make sure you get to a point where you can still breathe. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds, and we're going to come right back out. So let's go through that about 3 times. So legs are straight, arms are up high, push your hips back, drive the sticks forward, lengthen that posterior chain. You might feel a nice big stretch through the hamstrings, the lats. Make sure your feet stay on the ground. We don't want those toes to come up. Come back up. Let's get into the human sail. So nice back bend. If your body lets you have a little bit more, go for it. Otherwise, go to the same level that you were at. Back to the forward lean. So in this position, we have a nice flat back. Come back up. And lean back. As we lean back here, we're still driving tension into the ground. You might feel a nice big stretch through that anterior chain. We'll do one more. Big reach forward. Legs are straight. We'll pull back up. And remember, you should still be able to talk or breathe when you get into this end range position. And come back to center. So now we're going to drop one stick to the ground. So we're going to work on some forward bending still, but now we want to round that spine. So we're going to place the stick right against our thighs. Feet are still hip width apart. What I'm going to do is push the stick against my thighs. That's going to create some tension in the core. And I'm going to go ahead and keep my legs straight, but I'm going to drag the stick down my thigh, and I'm going to try to roll my spine down towards the ground, tucking my chin. And you're going to get to whatever position you can get to, whether it's all the way to the ground or at the knees. So stop wherever your end point is. And then I want you to try to come back up. So squeeze your abs and uncurl yourself back up to the top position. Get nice and tall. And we're going to repeat that 2 more times. So drive the stick into the thighs. Tuck your chin. Slowly slide the stick down the legs. You'll get to a point where the stick comes out in front of your toes. You should still be able to breathe. Now contract your stomach and try to uncurl yourself out back to the top. And we've got one more rep. So pushing into the thighs, curl that spine down, slide the stick against the legs. Legs stay straight just like the first drill. Reach down as far as you can. For some of you, you might be able to get onto an elevation if your hands can touch the ground. Uncurl and relax. So we've got our forward bending, our side bending, our forward bend with a spinal curl, and now we're going to get into a lateral movement. So we're going to get into our bow and arrow. So let's get our feet hip width apart. You're going to place the stick at the 9 o'clock position, so that elbow is at 90 degrees. Right arm is going to come over the top. And remember, we want to stay in this lateral plane here, right? So make sure, pretend like there's a window in front of you and a window behind you. And don't let your hips or upper body touch. So we're going to push the right hip away, and now we're going to drive that stick away from us. So you want to just get into the position where you can still breathe. This is a real gentle flow here. Hold for 3 to 5. We'll come right out of it, and we'll do 2 more. So light spin on the stick so we're not always flexing it in the same direction. Drive that stick away. I want your feet to stay flat on the ground so you get the benefits of ankle mobility and foot strength in that frontal plane. Come back up. Last one. Spin the stick. Push the hips away. Drive the stick away. Tilt your head down to the left. Breathe. And come back up slow. Let's switch sides. So, hip width apart. Place that stick at 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Left arm comes up. Reach over the head. Squeeze the glutes. Drive your left hip away to 3 o'clock. And push that stick. We're going to hold. Come back up. Okay, rotate your stick. Hips drive to 9. Stick goes to 3 o'clock. Feet stay flat on the ground. And tilt that head to the right. Come back up. One more time. Spin that stick. Drive that stick away from the body. This time I want you to add just a light push into the ground with that bottom hand. Come back up and relax. So let's grab your other stick that's on the ground. Now we're going to start adding in some rotation. So I want you in a split stance. And in this split stance, we're going to have both feet flat on the floor. And you're going to reach your hands up as high as you can. So ideally, we want our arms completely overhead, but if you don't have that accessible to you, go to whatever position you can handle. From here, we're going to drive the sticks into the ground at about 20 to 30% effort. And as we rotate, I want your feet to stay flat on the ground and feel what's happening down all the way to the ground. You should feel that torsion in the foot. All right, so your foot has to stabilize, but now we're getting some mobility at the ankle. So we're going to rotate to our right. Turn your head, turn your spine. We're going to rotate to your left. On the next rep, if you have a little bit more, go ahead and turn. Try to look behind you even further. Back to the left. One more to your right. And back to the left. All right, come back to center. Let's switch feet. So try to get the same width stance on the other side. Both feet flat on the floor. Big reach up. And we're going to start that rotation to your left. As I rotate to my left here, you might feel a stretch along that right hip flexor all the way up through the stomach. And then through that sling all the way to your left pec. Rotate to your right. Back to the left. Turn your eyes and head a little further, maintaining pressure into the ground with both feet. And one more here. Back to your right. And relax. So this is a nice way to either wake up your body, or it could be a nice cool down or active recovery.